Here for a third podcast.
Third time lucky.
Back again.
Yeah.
We actually tried going for a recording there, but then Sean said an awful joke at the start, so we decided to start
I thought it was
recording
pretty
again.
funny.
So if I feel a bit,
I thought it
yeah,
was
but
really,
it was
really
awful.
funny. Shut
There's
up.
something about vineyards and
Fiery
burning
taste.
mouths. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm feeling quite
we were
bad
told
about
at the
it,
start to speed it up from a couple of people.
Yeah.
That our starts are a bit too slow to the podcast, so
because
we'll
these
just get
people,
straight into
they're complete experts about podcasts. They're definitely not random Joes of Instagram at all. No. Anyway, into the podcast. What are we talking about?
Well, the topics I have down here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously the first one is Grosjean's crash. Like, I don't want to stick too much to it because it wasn't that much of a crash.
Yeah,
but I just want to.
I don't want to dwell on it too bad.
Yeah.
But one point that my dad said to me, I was talking to my dad about it, right? And he was saying how he's gone into like this barrier, right, at like 150 mile an hour, and he's walked away from it, hopped out. Billy Munger drove into the back of a moving car. It was pretty much stationary, but at like 3/4 of that speed, and now he has, he doesn't really have legs anymore. My question is, how do they find it acceptable that the F1 cars have better safety than F4 cars? That's sort of what I was sort of thinking as well, because like
F1 cars have better safety than go-karts, to be fair. Come on.
You know first hand anyway, don't you?
I know from first-hand experience.
How long are you going to milk that?
Doing gymnastics
anyway?
with a go-kart is my specialty.
Yeah, you're milking that out a bit, lad. Anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. I don't know much about the safety of F4 now.
Yeah, I mean, who really
I
cares?
thought you're going a completely different direction, to be honest. I thought you were about to fire shots at Billy Munger for losing his leg.
If I was in his position,
you were just going to call him a wuss.
Yeah, I would just simply not lose my legs.
Like, seriously. Like,
okay,
it's completely... I don't know. I think just F1, I think they've just
more
just got so much money to...
they're more important.
They probably think of it.
Quite bad.
I'm not
That
even
sounds quite bad.
like, that sounds awful, but that's probably true.
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna lie.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Grosjean, it was nice to see that he walked away from that. I know I was talking to one of my friends who is new to Formula One, and we put F1 drivers on such like a pedestal, like a high standpoint that when something we think they're going to die or something.
Apart from Latifi.
Yeah, apart from him.
I don't put him on that pedestal.
Yeah, I wish it was him. That anyway, if I was talking to my friend about it, and he was just like, "Oh, it doesn't really matter though, because he was out of the points anyway." And I was like, "You haven't just said that, have you?" Oh my god! But,
what does it matter, man? He only got like 3 points in the championship anyway.
Do you think that he's going to return in Abu Dhabi? I think it'd be cool to see him return in Abu Dhabi, but I doubt. If I was him, I'd just go back to the Swiss
That's
Alps.
his last drive ever in F1.
Yeah.
That's it.
And now we have Fittipaldi to look after anyway.
Oh, Jesus. Fittipaldi. He's probably going to be the worst driver to ever drive in Formula 1.
If Latifi doesn't out-qualify this guy, I don't know. There's no hope for him. I don't know how Fittipaldi's got a taste of F1 before ILOT.
He's going to be like 2 seconds behind. Yeah, I know. Yeah,
that's disgraceful.
But the only reason I don't know. I'd say ILOT wanted it. I actually don't know what ILOT wanted to do. Like, I don't know if I was in his situation, if he even had the choice to take that seat for Haas. It's come out that he can't. Like, he apparently has no seat for 2021, so he's confirmed not to go in. So it's between sort of Mazepin or Schumacher to get that Haas seat.
I mean, I reckon it's going to be both.
Alfa Romeo as well.
No, Alfa Romeo is pretty much done deal. I think they confirmed.
Is it?
Giovinazzi's going to be staying.
Two rookie drivers.
What a class driver.
Williams technically have two. Well, not. They don't have two rookie drivers, but George is in his second year and Latifi's in his first. It's not like George is.
George on a Sunday is more or less a rookie driver. Like, it's
Jesus, Sean, you hate him.
I don't hate him. It's just he's so good on a Saturday, and then it's just either
Fittipaldi is going to be a rookie on practice day, Saturday, Sims day. Conference day. Oh, he's going to be awful. Just all aspects.
He looks obese. I'm not going to put it out there. He has a fat neck, like, and not like a muscly neck. Like I've seen him. He just looks unhealthy. Like he looks like he just sits in front of a screen all day. He probably plays Warzone a bit. But anyway, onto another topic. So we've talked about Fittipaldi. Absolute scam of the season, more or less, in my opinion.
I don't know. I still can't get over that.
Yeah. The Grosjean.
I'd rather put in like a F1 esports driver in front
Brendan
of him.
Lee. I reckon he's in better shape.
Just get Brendan. Brendan.
Okay, but I'm sorry.
Brendan Lee season 1 esports is in better shape than Fittipaldi is right now.
Not being bad out, Brendan. He could hardly sit in the fucking seat like it's season 1 esports. Like,
actually, after their last race, I think it was round 8.
Yeah.
And they got, because I think he finished like in 3rd or something.
Yeah.
Like his best finish in ages since he last won the championship in season 2.
Yeah.
It showed a shot of him, and he's so close to his screen. It is ridiculous. He's going to be blind by next year, I'd say. Genuinely. I'd say he's already lost the vision in his right eye. I'd be very surprised if he hasn't.
That's the reason why he's shit this season. You can only see out of one eye.
No wonder he can't hit that apex. He's gone blind
Jack,
in one eye.
we forgot to
Probably
mention our
both.
sponsor. Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Our sponsor. Oh, well, we're faster
Sponsor
than
Super Meme.
F1. Instagram.
Follow them on Instagram.
Well, follow us
FS
first.
or
Follow us first. Take
Prima.
a flat.
Yeah. We're actually on 260 followers now.
That's
which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Considering we've
gotten
about
that.
20 subscribers on YouTube, it's
We've got 15 subscribers. Please,
Please follow.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Please, I beg.
please.
Like, these podcasts are actually pretty good. Like, I feel like we put out like
WTF1
good original content. I don't know.
WTF1 is just them sitting around a table.
Going through the obvious.
They're just talking about
Grosjean crashed.
Hamilton had a
He
good
was
race.
on fire. No way.
Really? Yeah.
Lewis won the race.
Holy shit. Did
Sherlock
he actually?
Like, and they somehow drag it out for an hour or so. And I don't
people
understand.
watch that as well. Like, this is short to the point. They're saying our intro's boring. Christ, the entire WTF1 podcast is just listening to Matthew Gallagher.
Is just boring.
Just speaking. Like, ugh.
X's and O's on my wrist. That's all I have to.
God, we can't promote self-harm. Oh my
No,
God.
I'm not promoting it.
Oh my God. Okay.
Obviously with the and one little thing on the Grosjean crash. There was another crash, obviously with Stroll. And what's the common link between the two? Our good old boy Kvyat, who we mentioned last week.
1 away from the UAV anyway.
I actually predicted. Well, we didn't. We were sort of forced since we made a Russian joke to go for him to beat Pierre Gasly in the inter-team battle. And Kvyat, got the double kill.
I think he took out the wrong driver.
Got the double kill and nearly got that UAV.
Quickly, I thought what was really funny is after getting over the shock of the Grosjean crash, I was. Martin Brundle was trying his best to put the audience at ease, and he was like, due to the law of averages, that a crash like that is not likely to happen for another while, right? So that put me at ease. I was like, all right, thank God. All right, let's get some racing underway. And I see yellow flag, sector 2. Oh. I'm like, okay, someone's gone off. Safety car, sector 2. I'm like, all right, so someone spun into the barrier.
I'm gonna end myself.
and it just cuts to Stroll upside down, and I was like,
what the hell?
I was.
Remember, like last year, not last year, but it was like 2 years ago in the 2018, and the most like horrific crash in 2018 was Hulkenberg.
Yeah, we were all like, oh my God,
that happened already. like after like Grosjean crashed. And
I
then
just
when
didn't
Stroll
care.
flipped, it was so anticlimactic.
Care.
Yeah, neither did I. But like on a normal race weekend, I'd be like, Jesus, that's a fairly big crash.
Yeah, you're just like,
but just because
Grosjean
like was on fire basically, he was like the Human Torch basically. He was part of the Fantastic Four for about 20 seconds, I think. Paul di Resta said. So
it was like some of the Terminator.
Nobody really cared.
Rise from the ashes.
And then did you hear his radio as well? Stroll was like, "Yeah, I'm down."
He's so calm about it.
Savage voice. And then Hulkenberg, I'm hanging like a horse.
Yeah, bitch ass, like
or a cow. A cow, like, yeah. Okay, well, I think we've we briefly touched over. Obviously, Lewis won again. Bottas with a great
I know.
round.
Okay, this Grosjean crash has a silver lining for me. It's a slight silver lining that it's sort of the commentators didn't pick up on the absolutely horrific start that he got.
Oh yeah, well, like they said he had a bad start, but like I don't think did they show it on board.
I tell you what was the biggest scam ever as well. He was sixth coming in, come the red flag.
Yeah, and then he somehow passed Albon and Ricardo. But I didn't understand that. I didn't actually hear what they said.
He passed safety car. He passed the second safety car line in front of them, and that was the last reference point that they had. But like I was like,
so stupid. He got absolutely.
But he just had a bad weekend. He had 2 punctures in a race. I'm not sure if you saw a video for his pit stop. They didn't bother changing his front right tire. Yeah, it's
really.
He went in and changed, and all of his other tires, apart from the front right, got changed. But it's because I think they were the same compound that they allowed it. But it's they just didn't care, like, realistically. But yeah, that's just a small note. What are we going to talk about next? Because, on topic.
Okay, so, well, we obviously talked about the inter-team battle, and we predicted who would win that inter-team battle between the two drivers.
The results now here. So
we'll go team by team, and so obviously we both picked Russell for this round. Oh, actually, I picked Latifi for a wild card.
That's worked out
because
I'm never listening to you at all. Actually, I think we should get the obvious out of the way. Haas, Magnussen.
Oh yeah,
for obvious reasons.
One. Good thing I went for Magnussen.
Yeah, Grosjean let me down. I'll be sending him an email later on saying, "What the hell, man?" Stroll, Perez. I felt so bad for Perez, but I was so glad it happened as well, so that I didn't have to hear on Twitter, Perez, it's a crime that he doesn't have a seat last year, another podium. And I was like, yeah, it's good. He tried to drive on with it, like his car on fire and like fumes going into his face. Like he was like, yeah, this is fine.
Just Grosjean 2.0. Just instead of on the outside, the fire is actually inside the cockpit. And he's still
Alfa
driving.
Romeo. I'd picked Kimi, I think.
We both picked Kimi,
Fortune tellers, yeah. Ferrari. Sebastian didn't have a great race, did he?
No, well, the thing is, I actually think Sebastian had good pace. Mm-hmm. Genuinely, he qualified ahead of Leclerc, and then he had a really poor start, and he actually blamed that poor start on Leclerc.
He just goes...
on the team radio, he was pissed, and then after the race, he even took another shot and was like, after Leclerc's ruthless start, I had to back out or something like that. So I don't know. I think he actually had good pace, but obviously we predicted Leclerc to beat him, and he did.
Kvyat, AlphaTauri, Kvyat. I think Kvyat.
He's a winner in my eyes with the double kill. In typical Russian style.
I like the fact that when when Grosjean nearly died, Kvyat was like, oh, what the hell?
Well, no, he didn't know, to be fair. And it was completely Grosjean's fault. I'm not gonna lie. If he wasn't burned up in flames or anything, and turned into some waffles,
some French toast,
French toast. Yeah, exactly. Like, if he was perfectly fine and just say, like, he had to retire and he was perfectly fine, the reports would be completely different, because the way he just turned across, you can't just do that.
I mean, watching you...
And he's like 100 Grand Prix
racing
in.
with you on F1 2020 online, you do that constantly, okay? You're like a Leclerc and Grosjean.
Well,
I know that's a game.
Not the race start. I know I have a bit more sense than that, and plus I have the arrows.
The arrows.
Grosjean doesn't have the arrows, but like still, you'd think with the experience he has that he just wouldn't swing across the way he did. I'm sure they were trying to find out from Sky Sports. I was watching Sky, and they were trying to find out why he swung across, but they just couldn't
fathom why he did it.
Out.
Oh, he was trying to get away from the pack and come off a good move, but he sort of forgot that there were cars behind him.
Other drivers. He's just so used to being P20.
True. Just preach. Okay, on to Renault.
So we
they had
Renault, we both said Ricciardo.
they-
It was just so stupid. Maybe not so stupid, but Renault should have been a bit faster, a bit snappier because Ricciardo might have had a chance to get sixth in the end. Not might have had a chance. He definitely would have had a chance because within the first lap, Ocon let him by. He pulled like a second and a half in that lap, and it was ridiculous. And then what do Renault decide to do? They didn't decide to undercut Ricciardo.
I saw that.
So they let Ricciardo by and then undercut him with Ocon.
It's like
It made zero sense. And then Ricciardo was held up behind Ocon. So then it took another 2 laps to let him by. And then they
all
did.
I'm gonna say is
Or I think Ricciardo might have gotten by. I
Third-
don't know. It was just so
third
strange.
in the championship this year is not going to be decided on who has the faster car. It's going to be decided on who can bottle the least amount of races. Like McLaren,
Well, it's definitely a racing point. It's just if Stroll decides to
not die.
stop crashing or
And if-
I think they'd
like
be
they
flying.
would be a clear cut third, but they keep bottling every race. McLaren, it looks like Renault as well. On a lot of the weekends, have better pace than McLaren, but again they just bottle.
I think the 2 drivers are better. That's a really that's a really out
We
there
don't have enough
opinion.
time for that.
A lot of people don't like
Yeah.
Ocon. A lot of people
No.
don't like Ocon. I don't know why. I think just Ricciardo is in the
I
form of
think
his
that
life.
like yesterday.
He's a top 3 driver, top 4.
Yesterday
for most
we
people.
saw the Ocon of 2018. I think and Martin Brundle agreed with me. I actually emailed
No.
him and he said it on Sky Sports without giving me credit for.
Emailed you back.
He
He sent me the pics back as well.
Shut up. Anyway, I don't know. It's just he looked feisty out there, and that's something I hadn't seen from him in a while.
He was feisty.
He's
in
been
loads of
stupid a
rounds.
load of rounds. There's a difference between being feisty and being stupid. I don't know.
I don't think he was
It's just-
stupid.
Lando today. Lando finished fourth. What? He finished
Oh.
fourth. Oh, I thought,
Yeah.
Okay, that's complete.
And I predicted Lando, and you predicted Sainz.
I mean, that's just because of your science bias.
Bang
like,
bang.
simple as. To be fair,
I think Sainz is overrated, but like I don't have a Sainz bias. A couple of rounds last year he did annoy me.
Brazil.
Don't get me wrong, but I don't particularly care.
He made about 3 on
Yeah,
track overtakes, and suddenly he was hailed as the messiah of F1 himself. Like,
Oh yeah, I remember. Like don't get me wrong, the overtakes were good in Brazil, but a lot of them were
It
just
was like
through the
the-
pit lane. But let's just move on. We're not talking about Brazil 2019.
here all day. And, Red Bull, pretty standard. It's funny, the one. Everyone's saying how Albon had a decent race, but before the safety car, he was 27 seconds off Max. Like,
But no,
He was
was he
27
seconds
seconds
off
off
Max? Well, that's a good race for him.
I mean,
No.
there's,
That's it.
I
That's
know,
actually a
which
good
is
race for him.
sad.
That's how sad that is.
he's there. Oh, this is great. Yeah, it's class. Podium. And it's like, yeah.
Like it's mad. It's mad. 2018 Ricciardo on like the worst form of his life, not the worst form, but like the worst season. Like just in terms of luck, and in driving, like a bad race for Ricciardo would be if he was 10 seconds off Max.
Which happened a lot because Max is just such a beast. Again. I'm not going to mention 2015 at all.
And then obviously we're Mercedes. You predicted.
I was wrong.
You predicted.
It's just I think he's
Well,
just,
like he did get that pole that one
he's-
time.
He's just, I think he's had so much bad luck this year that he's just given up. Like, even Martin Brundle said, I know I'm quoting Martin Brundle, we're basically the same person.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
in some of the braking zones, I could just tell after, a bad start.
I'm pretty sure you and Martin Brundle have the same star sign, don't you?
I don't know what a star sign is. Yeah, we're both Capricorns. I think. Let me check Snapchat and see what they say. I filled out a survey and I put my wrong date of birth. Because I thought they were like checking who's like underage. And I was like, yes, I'm about to be a snitch. So what are we talking about next?
Yeah.
I can't.
Well, what I have down on the sheet, we've actually rattled
we have.
through this.
We've really let that comment get to us, haven't we?
We decided, yeah, we really did. We decided not to waffle whatsoever, which is sort of what gets us through. Like the last time we had like 4 things down.
Yeah.
And now...
True.
Well, we could... I do. We still have to talk about our predictions for the next race, and then if that doesn't fill it in, I have an idea of going through our fantasy team. If that might be led on to a different,
I think
different
that's
weekend,
an entire
maybe.
podcast itself. Like,
Maybe, but we'll see. We'll see how we get on here. Okay, so prediction for the next race. Obviously, it's a lot of straights.
yeah. Well, first we're gonna. Should we start from the back again? I feel like we should start from the back again.
Yeah,
Okay.
start from the back again. It's a completely different
Yeah.
circuit. Like it's
Williams?
ridiculous.
I reckon they'll be pretty.
Williams.
Not fast, but like it's a lot of straights. Like it's.
I don't know. Are they? I actually don't know if they're fast. What particular corners are they faster to? To the slow speed, medium speed, or high speed? I don't even know.
Straights is their main.
Is the
Well,
straights their main?
They have a
For
Mercedes
sure.
engine.
Well then,
those, but like, but
true,
the
true,
middle
true.
section of the track, I was looking at it, and it is quite, twisty. So, any sort.
What do you mean the middle section? Is it not just a square?
It's
swear
not
it's just a square.
It's turn 1, turn 2, and at turn 4, I think, or at turn 4 or turn 5, that little section. Instead of going
4, yeah.
and turning right to go into the infield section, they take an outer loop.
It's just like
Yeah,
straight
but there
on,
is a
basically.
few corners to
Yeah.
it. There is I was going to say chinks to the left. We can't say that.
Barely.
There's like digs to the left and right. Look at the Bahrain track. Hang on.
I know I had it up earlier on before
Okay.
the podcast, and I swear it's not very. There's not a lot of corners. Apparently they're predicting it to be a 55-second lap, Sean.
I mean, I could do that any day. Just
Yet Codemasters can't put that on the game.
Literally. And you know what? Codemasters are few.
They already have a short track, but yet they have the wrong one.
with the Vietnam Grand Prix being cancelled for next year. Codemasters have just wasted a lot of time and a lot of money on creating an imaginary track that no one likes in their F1 game. And also
Yeah,
another
facts,
thing, since we sort of
facts,
have
that
sort
track
of
is
an audience, kind of. I just want to talk about.
Yeah, please like and subscribe. Please beg. Plague. We're begging. We want to get to 100k by tomorrow.
At least.
Please.
Yes, I'm fuming now.
We want to get more views than
I can't remember what I
WTF1.
was going to say.
They still ignored us from podcast 1.
I actually have videos of Matt Gallagher saying many words that aren't very.
Yeah. We
still
still
have
have
it.
that.
It's on my phone.
We still are not
Yeah.
taking it serious.
We will be taking legal action. By legal action, I mean give us a shout out and we'll delete it like simple as.
Okay, so Williams. We think Williams is going to be fast, yeah?
No, I don't. Okay, I don't
I'm
think they're going to be
predicting
fast,
Russell.
but I don't think they're going to be
So-
like dead last. Like
They're faster than usual.
okay, barely.
They're gonna be faster than usual, maybe.
They're not going to be great. Like anyway,
Oh,
who? Yeah,
Russell. Yeah,
You know, Latifi,
Russell.
You're smoking
Yeah,
some
Russell.
sort of morphine in your hospital bed. Like
okay, I'm going to take this more serious than last time rather than going for Kvyat and
okay.
Russell.
It's
Not Kvyat and Latifi the last time. That was sort of just a
Haas.
wind up.
I reckon Grosjean's in with a shout.
Haas.
He likes these sort of.
If Fittipaldi actually managed to beat Magnussen on raw race pace without Magnussen crashing or anything, because I'm pretty sure Magnussen actually has the most DNFs.
Think of
this
how many times
year.
he's going to be lapped. It's a
With-
55-second lap, and he's going to be like 5 seconds off the pace. He's 10 laps
he's
in.
going to be dumpstered.
Um,
And when you get lapped, your confidence just
Yeah.
drops to an all-time low. And especially when he's going to be last. He is going to be last. His confidence is going to be shot. He's going to drive even slower, even worse. He's not going to be able to manage his tyres because Bahrain is probably the worst track for its tyres, because that's like that you just manage your tyres in Bahrain and somewhat drive fast at the same time. You can't do both.
Yeah,
he's
going
gonna
to
be
want
awful.
to.
So
he's gonna want to
100%
cry
Kevin
afterwards, actually.
Magnussen.
Magnussen, 100%.
I think Latifi would be way faster. I can't. Did Fittipaldi? He did do F2.
I think he did. I think he did one
Did he
season,
not?
and his last. I was looking at it. His last race in a single seater was back in February, and he finished 5th in an F3 race. He finished 5th. I don't think he's going to be on for, a great race, if I'm honest.
Just no, silence for like 5 seconds here. 1 sec.
Hello?
Alright, I just had to take that in. That's
Okay.
We're all good.
Okay, well...
That's awful.
Yeah.
That's awful.
I know. Just, yeah. Moving on to Alfa Romeo, Ferrari.
Moving on, yeah.
Who do we think?
Wait, Alfa Romeo. Who won last time?
Kimi
Who?
came ahead of...
Kimi.
Oh, yeah. Kimi came ahead of Giovinazzi.
But like by what positions? Where did they both finish?
15th and 16th. Not exactly the greatest.
And what was the gap between them?
Well, they finished under safety car, so it's sort of not relevant. It just says 1 lap.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna.
You know what? I'm gonna go for Gio.
I'm sticking with Kimi.
Okay.
Yeah. What next?
Because I think that start is gonna be
Yeah.
as long as he can qualify sort of close to him. I think with his starts, I think Gio might just pip it this time and get one place ahead of him.
Possibly.
Because it's actually pretty close between them. I think it's a lot
Yeah.
closer than what people think.
Mm-hmm.
Next one. Who's next?
Ferrari. I think.
You know what? Vettel is coming back
That's
on
what
form
I
ever
mean.
since
That's
that
what
podium.
I'm thinking
And
also.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I still think just his race pace just maybe isn't on the same level as Leclerc.
You know,
right
he
now.
spun last race
So I'm
as well.
Still,
And I saw a video of him spinning, and it was this year, and the car just looks so unstable. Like, he's just driving along, and the rear end, it's like he's driving a forklift, and it just, the axle turns, and it just spins him around. He wasn't doing anything. He was half revs. It was just, there's a fundamental issue with that Ferrari. I'm telling you now. It is not just him, to an extent.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe.
I'm going to pinch
I don't know.
yourself. So I'm going to go with Vettel. I'm going to be bold.
I'm gonna go with Leclerc then to rival that decision.
All right, then. I'm
Probably the safe
I'm going to
one.
fight you then after this. I'm going to leak your address.
All right. All right. I'm gonna leak your mum's name.
I'm going to leak your mom's
That's
name.
definitely worse.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leak your address then.
I'm not going to just leak your address. I'm going to leak your coordinates.
I'm gonna hop your nan.
Okay, right, fair. I'm gonna key your car now. The Renault Clio. Yeah.
Shut up, man.
Okay.
All right.
Renault.
Next.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you go first.
Ricardo.
Ricardo, yeah.
Okay, we're not even.
If anyone else out there is decide between qualifying, it was actually very
qualifying. It
close.
was nip and tuck, but race pace, it's just.
But his race pace was just monster.
Okay.
Monster
no.
versus not monster.
Okay.
I
fair.
was.
Alpha
What you
Tauri
mean?
Honda.
One
Alpha
lap.
Tauri.
He passed the 1 lap and then a second and a half, basically.
Okay. He was on
Alpha
different
Tauri,
tires,
what
on a
order
different
is this in?
strategy. Alpha Tauri.
A different strategy.
Pierre. Pierre.
You know what? No,
I would love for Kvyat to do well. I think he's a really cool guy.
But he does
a
it. He
cold-blooded
does it on
killer,
rare
a cold-blooded
occasions.
killer anyway. But he's a cool guy. But yeah, 100%.
Yeah, Gasly. And we'll say it again.
Mm-hmm.
The only reason that Gasly gets beaten is only because of a crash.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What else?
Then-
McLaren. I'm gonna say Norris.
I'm gonna go with Norris again.
I'm thinking of
He's on a high.
because Sainz.
He's.
I
I know Sainz came from 15.
Mhm.
I know he did.
yeah.
But I still think I think Norris still had the better race.
Yeah.
Because the safety car and the sort of he drove well, don't get me wrong, Sainz, but I think with the stuff that was happening around him definitely helped.
Yeah.
And that McLaren was quick. I think Norris he did just drive better over the weekend.
True.
Just on our overall. Actually, just a quick thing. I wonder if people are taking these notes down and who we think.
Yeah, they're going to
gambling.
the book. He's like, all right. So I have my
pretty,
house,
like-
right, and I just want to put that down. My wife, my kids, all on Norris. There's probably someone homeless right now because of us.
I never understand that joke because, like, if you bet your kids, are you getting more kids?
God damn, you're right, aren't you?
Yeah, because you get
You can get more kids
you
and then
bet your
sell them.
wife and your
then you
kids,
can
you get
sell
more
them.
kids and wife.
Okay, where are we going, Daddy?
Slavery.
Trip to Somalia. Come on. Okay. I mean, I just don't like Spanish people, so that's why Norris is out. Joke. Red Bull Honda Racing. I'm thinking of sticking with stop.
If you didn't pick Verstappen, like that would be insane. Yeah, Verstappen. Now
Mercedes.
This
My heart.
This tells me if you're a man.
My heart.
Or a
My
woman,
heart
come on.
says Bottas with every fibre of its being, but I do have a half functioning brain.
Come
so
on.
I'm gonna go with Lewis.
There we go.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
Lewis.
don't get me wrong. I would absolutely love Bottas to just go on, get pole position, but
He's got a.
I just think that he
get pole
and then
position.
win.
That's it.
And then I just think that he wants to get this season over so he can go back to Monaco and just shag his girlfriend. Like, I think that's the.
Who's ugly, by the way?
Okay, well, like, at least he's getting some. At least he's getting some, right? Don't hate the player.
Yeah, well. Maybe if he has two and they're both fours, and then you can make an 8. But she's a 4, and that's just 4. There's no getting past that.
See. Okay.
Like, there's no two ways about it. You know what I mean?
I would love for if Valtteri, if you're watching this, I think your girlfriend's amazing. Yep. Moving. I mean,
I don't know why you're saying moving on. We've got nothing else.
okay. Well, have you any big?
Okay, maybe not fantasy team. Just pick your 2 drivers that you'd have for a team, and then that can lead us to maybe next podcast where we then begin the podcast with our fantasy team.
I would
just to fill in maybe 5 minutes and just give your 2 drivers in-depth response,
Okay.
and I'll do the same, and we'll end it on that.
I would quite like
Because I didn't think we'd move through this fast through it. So
in my
that's-
Formula One fantasy team, right?
current drivers, by the way. Current
Yep.
drivers.
Valtteri Bottas is going to be my number 1 driver, solely for the fact that, believe it or not, he bet heroes such as Nigel Mansell, Sebastian Vettel. I don't know anyone else who all had mustaches, and he was voted on Twitter, Instagram. We're not going to count Reddit because they're creatures. Facebook, everything like that. And he bet Nigel Mansell and Sebastian Vettel, and he's been voted that he has the best mustache of all time in Formula One history. And if that isn't something to be absolutely proud of, I don't know what is. So he has to be number 1. Number 2 driver, just to back him up, I'm gonna have to
Sean,
go with Max Verstappen. He's a great, solid number 2 driver who I think will obey team orders, and who's great with playing second fiddle. So yeah, that's my 1 and 2.
Yeah. So wait, I just want you to repeat that again. Who's your second driver?
Max. Yeah. I know what I forget.
So you've after picked him Bottas as your number 1 driver, who's getting absolutely, what's the word, demolished
Yeah.
by
I think it's the car. Honestly, it's
by Lewis.
He's dragging that dog of a Mercedes up the field. Honestly, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lewis does.
I actually think you're right.
Yeah, I know. It's an unpopular opinion, but
I think Lewis has a different mark.
yeah, it's like, I'd honestly.
That actually reminds me of last year when all the Polish people were coming down to F1 races and saying that George Russell was getting a completely different Williams to Kubica,
just stop crying,
and somehow out qualifying him by like 8/10 every race.
Not bad.
And that somehow Kubica, the Lord Almighty, was somehow pulling that car ahead.
I mean, I think he is. I
Sometimes.
think he is. Yeah. To be fair, respect them. Honestly, just respect them. Anyway, what's your
So Max and Bottas.
Bottas and Max? Yeah, strictly. But go
I wouldn't have a 1 and 2 driver. I just I'd say they're both number one. And it would be like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think number one, number two drivers is sort of an olden age type of thing. I think that's sort of out the door now. I don't think that's...
Okay.
I think that
Get
was
on with
a
it. Come on.
Barrichello, Schumacher type of thing.
Yeah.
Ricardo.
Surprise, surprise.
I think that goes without saying. If I had to
There.
have a team, he'd 100% be in there.
Mhm.
He's still 30. He's still like 30, 31.
Yeah.
So he's still in his prime years.
Yeah.
Like Lewis is what, like 34?
He's washed up.
30, something like that?
He's
completely washed.
Yeah.
He's probably come to the end of his days.
Yeah, true.
And then I'd go with a bit of youth. Probably go with Latifi. Just
The
he's up and
Canadian
coming.
money, you know.
He's coming.
It's just money. Yeah, so I actually wanted a new car.
No,
so
I'd actually go with Lewis, which is like a Ricardo Lewis. Imagine that would be the best driver lineup ever.
Hi.
I think some people would say
Recording something with
and some people would say Max and Lewis, which will also be class.
after I finish.
I think they just crash all the time though. I think Ricardo might be actually able to race with Lewis rather than Max just smashing into the side of him.
Yeah, maybe you might need to edit that out.
I raise a good point there. Yeah, I will.
Just-
Okay.
If you don't edit that out, I
Actually,
will recap you.
quick point. Okay. Quick point.
Yes.
Did you see? Just because we've now gone through that was actually quite dead.
Yeah, true.
We might redo that the next day.
Yeah.
I want to go. Did you see that video from Tomo F1?
I don't
just
watch
quickly
him.
so we can end this
annoys
podcast.
me. I don't watch him.
He went through. It was actually a really good idea of a video, and I think we should definitely do it. Do you know how the American drafts work for American sports and things like that, like NBA and so he did a draft, but for Formula 1 drivers and like different teams. And do you want to know his number one pick was?
Who?
Perez.
Oh my god. It's a mini Oshin. That's what that is. That's.
And no. But do you know where Lewis was picked?
Where?
I'm pretty sure he was like pick 4 or 5. He had Ricardo pick 7.
Okay.
And I think he had Bottas like lower than that.
I reckon, judging by him, I reckon yeah, Bottas like 13th, 14th. Just the disrespect.
And then I mean Max was picked 2nd, which is
Who
fair.
was first?
Perez. Perez was the first pick. Apparently, if Williams was to pick a driver, they'd pick Perez. Like, Perez, don't get me wrong, he's grand. But would you not pick the best person? That's like, if we were to do a draft with every NBA player, we're not going to pick LeBron James.
Or Antetokounmpo.
We're going to pick, we're gonna pick John. He's good.
He's never played basketball in his entire life.
Okay, maybe Perez isn't on that level, but like, he's not better than Lewis or Max or Ricardo or, I mean, if I was to put Perez and Bottas in the same team, I actually think it would be pretty close. I think it'd be a really close battle. That would be a class inter-team battle.
I know what we can do. Right, I can.
But we can redo that another day. We've got in concept we have to do that.
Yeah.
To do the F1 draft and to do obviously our fantasy team with our team principals, our 2 drivers,
So,
our colours,
exactly. So
our team name.
stay tuned. Honestly, that it's gonna be mega.
Oh yeah,
mega.
please.
Please subscribe. For the love of sweet Jesus, please subscribe. It would.
We're way better than WTF1.
You don't understand.
We're way
You
better
don't
than
understand. It's WTF1 is like
the reserve drivers. Maybe not yet.
Reserve drivers are pretty good, but yeah. Fair. But
We're there, and remember, yes, Super Meme, our sponsor, we sponsor them. Whatever,
yeah.
same thing.
F1.
Just follow them. Yeah.
I do even know their name.
Oh, and follow our Instagram. You can watch the other guys if you want.
But make sure you watch us.
Just subscribe to us. Yeah, just watch us. Subscribe to us. Tell all of your friends that we're
Even if
unreal
you,
because we
yeah,
are.
even like honestly, if you're trying to get with a girl, just show us the podcast. We'll shout you out
Instantaneously like that.
She will want to.
You will get lots of women.
Honestly,
It's guaranteed. I tested it on lots of them.
show us the podcast
In my
basement. Sorry, my bad.
All right, move it. All right.
Okay.
I think we'll end it there.
So do I.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that.
That's decent.
Okay, talk to you later.
Okay. Well, you're going.